So we've talked about the first How to Train Your Dragon movie, but does the sequel hold up to the first one? I'll spoil one thing for you guys, if you guys are just wondering what my thoughts about the second one and third one is. Very briefly, I don't think people are right about this. I don't think... Don't get me wrong. I own the full trilogy. I love the movies. To be honest, I didn't watch the sequels until I already had bought that. But I love the first one, and the second one and third one are good. They're great. But people try to put them on the level of like the Lord of the Rings and these other trilogies that are just top tier all the way. The sequels, in my opinion, go downhill. They're not bad. They're definitely not bad. They're great. But I don't know. Especially the third one, it's just kind of generic. The villains after the first one, just gets generic. The generic villains. This one, I kind of like the villain a little bit. But honestly, no. It is not as good as the original. That's the easy answer. But why? So let's start with some bad. I think the big problems I have with this one is, first of all, I kind of love the whole thing with the mother and how basically in the first one you don't really know what happened to his mother. And in the sequel you figure out that that's where he got his love of dragons from, was from his mother. His mother saw the humanity in these dragons, and she, instead of doing what Hiccup did and actually trying to help his father and all the Vikings see the good part of these dragons, she left. She's like, I can't kill these dragons. I don't know what to do. I'm leaving. And so it's really interesting seeing and all that when Hiccup shows up and he's telling his mom, like, oh yeah, my dad changed his mind. He's like, no, he didn't. She's like, no, he didn't. But the problem I have with her and why it's in the bad section is because her character is kind of weird. I don't know. Like, what is up with the way she like walks and the way she like crawl? Like, I get it. Like, it's kind of like she's used to living with dragons, but in the same way, it's like she's so weird. I'm like, I wish they had just made her normal. Like, she was, it was weird. The other problems I have with this one is just, I don't know, it's just the parts where it just copied the original. It's like, there's just a new alpha. There you go. Boom, new alpha. And it's like, so that's just a repeat of, like all three movies, like, actually, I don't believe the third one actually have an alpha, but like the first two have like these alphas. The big thing that the villain is also very generic. I do like the villain, but he's a generic, I'm gonna trap all the dragons villain. But he has a cool visual. He visually looks cool. Not like, unlike the third one, where we'll get to that later. But the second one, he's a visually good, like, intimidating looking villain. And I love the moment where, you know, Hiccup tells his dad, like, oh yeah, like, there's just mentioned this random dragon trainer guy named Draco Bloodfist. And he's like, what? He's like, he's just suddenly like, everything locked down. We are locking down this place. No one gets in, no one gets out. Like, suddenly he just, boom. Stoics completely changed. Like, from being just calm and then, no, let's do this. Let's taking complete chief energy and just being like, boom. That it really set up like, okay, this is an intimidating villain. And when you got to see him in person, it's like, okay, this is really an intimidating. He's intimidating, but he's kind of just, his motivations for who he is as a villain is just not that great. He's just another villain. He's visually looks good, but he's not that great of a villain. Yeah, there's a lot of like things that repeats from the original, but besides that, it's a solid sequel. It's just not as good as the original. So what are some good? So I would say visually even better than the original. It gets, the people look better. As I talked about in the original, it's just, they kind of looked ugly and it was, but you know, in the second one, they get a little bit better looking, which I find enjoyable. They also just, the villain, again, by all problems, is a pretty intimidating villain. The whole fact with, you know, the alpha and how, like, what happens with Stoic in the end of the movie with, you know, with Toothless. For those who haven't seen it, I won't spoil, but, you know, that's incredible and not incredible, but also the moment where he's like, where Hiccup's like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that. One big thing, as I talked about in the original, the whole fact that, I grew up in a very 90s Christian parent household where, no watching Harry Potter, no watching How to Train Your Dragon, no watching this, that, because they're all demonic. So when I showed my mom, the original video I told you I showed my mom the second one of these. And when she saw it, she came to the realization, no, truly, it's not worshiping the devil in that way. But she couldn't quite admit that it was okay. So what she turned to is, it still is worshiping the devil because of the fact that these dragons bow down to the alpha. And no one should bow down to anyone besides God. I don't know. All I responded with, okay, I get it, we are Americans, but have you heard of the fact that countries without kings, without royalty, is a very new thing? Guess what happens when you're king? You bow to your king. That's not demonic. I don't think God would have given the Israelites a king if he thought kings were a demonic thing. I found that was kind of amusing, the fact that my mom was like, oh, I have to find something to make it demonic. So, thus, the fact that they bow down to the alpha makes them worshiping the devil. And I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, guys, but I love the throwing these little moments of my mom's craziness into these How to Train Your Dragon videos because I can't help it. It's amusing to make fun of those 90s parents and their hypocritical and kind of stupidity that they deal with when it comes to these type of stuff. Anyways, guys, but yes, I would strongly recommend, if you guys like the first one, you probably would like the sequel. As I said in the original video, it does expand on the world a little bit. You get to see what happened to Hiccup's mom. You get to see more of where he got this idea, where it was built into him genetically to want to take care of these dragons and not just kill them. The fact that, it expands the world out. Oh, hey, there's more dragons than just, you had this little bit, there's this land with this, alpha who all these dragons that keep going back to and giving food to. And the second one is okay, yeah, there's even further out. There are also these dragon trappers. There was this council of Vikings that was destroyed by this villain. It expands on the world in a good way. I think that's something that I really would have to talk about in one of my educational videos, is just why the How to Train Your Dragon movies should be looked at for world building, because it's kind of incredible, how each movie builds more into the world. So yeah, I would strongly recommend, if you like the original, you'll probably like this one. Just in my opinion, it kind of follows the same beats as the original, and it brings something new to it, but in the same way, I don't think it's as incredible as people say. It's just a sequel. It's not that, there's not these incredible character growth. It kind of just goes back to, again, it's each movie, it's just people don't trust Hiccup, and he has to earn their trust again. It's why? What can you not understand after doing all these different stuff? Most likely, these Vikings are eventually going to trust him. Anyways, but yes, that was my thoughts about the second one. Strongly recommend watching it. If you guys want to see when I put out the video for this third one, consider subscribing. This has been the Movie Night Reviewer, Peter Weary, signing off.